Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Hope everybody had a good week. I want to thank all of my new followers. I put out a help message yesterday so that I could continue to do lives. Facebook has decided to change the rules on who can and can't do lives. And you guys were awesome. You jumped to the task. And now we will be able to continue. I'm so grateful. All right. Let's see if we can find the video so I can see who's on. There we are. And go ahead and comment. And if you're new to my channel, let me know where you're watching from. I would appreciate that. Hello, Laura. Hello, Jennifer. Thanks so much for always being here. Appreciate you so much. All right. Let's get this down where you can see it a bit. And I need to move this over. Okay. I put all my markers over here, so it's kind of making a mess there. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to apologize right up front. There's no way I'm getting through this live tonight without coughing. Probably have to blow my nose because my allergies are killing me. Went to the doctor today and I have bronchitis, headed for walking pneumonia. Actually a touch of walking pneumonia, and so it's just not going to make it without coughing. It's impossible. So forgive me ahead of time. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. And we will wait another minute and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I wanted to tell you about the sale that Stampin' Up! Announced this morning. It will begin on the 5th of June and go through the 30th of June. Of course, while supplies last. Once they run out of the bundle, you won't be able to take advantage. So the sooner you jump on those bundles that you want, the better off you are. You're going to get to take an extra 10% off the already bundled price of 10%. And if you're in the market for a Stampin' Cut emboss machine or a mini Stampin' Cut and emboss machine, those two are on sale for 10% off. And it doesn't matter on the mini whether you get the white one or the boho blue. Either way, it'll be on sale. Okay? So, if I were you and you have some bundles that you want to purchase, I would hold off until the 5th of June. And of course, that will be at 11 p.m. June 4th here in the Pacific Northwest, because the sale will start at 12:01 p.m. Mountain Time, and that is 11:01 here. So, anyway, check your list. Make your list, check it twice, and get ready to get your items at a significant discount. Hi, Tracy. In my 12 years as a demonstrator, and I don't even recall as a previous customer that Stampin' Up! Ever has done a sale on Stampin' Die bundles. And by the way, this also includes the Sweet collections. So that's unheard of as well. All right, so keep that in mind. If you're on my customer email list, you received this flyer this morning. I sent it out around 6:30. And of course, if you keep your eye on the K&T Designs by Teresa business page, I'll have a reminder for you over the weekend. Okay, that's all of that. I'm going to go ahead. This first card that we're going to make has a lot of color. Hi, Cynthia. I'm excited about the sale too, because if you're a demonstrator, those on June 5th, they're releasing the pre-order for the online exclusives, which will be available to customers in July, and we will get to take advantage of that discount on those online exclusives pre-orders. So that's really exciting for us. Okay, so here is my list of colors. I'll go over it again, but pretty much this is what I'm going to be using. I didn't get any of the pre-coloring done, you guys. I apologize. Usually I do the coloring ahead of time, but I just didn't get it done because I just have not felt that terrific. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move those out of the way for a minute. All right, so we've got the Loveliest Tree Bundle. This is my featured product this week. This retails for like $36.50 if you buy the bundle. It's pretty inexpensive. And you get the rubber cling mount stamp set. It has 6 stamps, and then there are 7 dies in the set. It cuts out the big tree, the large tree, and the leaves here, and then you get these bonus dies. Okay? And we're going to be using everything today, I think. So let's set that aside for now. And let's bring in our cardstock. In addition to that, we're going to be using the So Swirly embossing folder. I'm going to be using the Bright Skies dies, which I have in my Bright Sky stamp set. And I'm using this large die here. I wanted it to look like a lake, so I've cut that out in Pool Party already. And I embossed that piece with the So Swirly embossing folder. And so when you do that, it looks like this. Okay, so we've got those pieces already pre-done. Just to save us some time. These are our ink pads that we'll be using. We've got Garden Green, Copper Clay, Pebbled Path, Pool Party, Mossy Meadow, and Azure Afternoon. We're going to be doing some ink blending. I've used a piece of the Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper, and the pieces that I have used are... I've used the back sides of those actually. So I used a piece of this one to cut out a tree for the inside of our card. And I've used a piece of this one to cut out 2 of the tree pieces. So we've already got those ready to go. Then we're going to put those on the inside of our card. All right. Then I'm also going to be using the Beside Me stamp set. Now, many of you might remember that this was a celebration free item that you could choose in February. And it carried over. It's one of the Encore products. So we're going to use this tonight. And we're going to use this image right here because Father's Day is coming up quickly. So I thought I would combine the Loveliest tree with this fishing image because it fits perfectly in our family. So let's go ahead and get some stamping done. Sorry about that, and I forgot to grab a piece of basic white to stamp my image on so I could cut it. Hang on for 1 second. I'll grab that from my stash here. Or maybe this is it. Nope, this is the piece that we need for the thing. Okay, so this is 3 3/4 by 5. Yep. Okay. So where to start? Where to start? Let's go ahead and stamp our images. And we're going to grab the Pebbled Path. That's why I have the Pebbled Path ink. And we're going to ink that up. This is a large stamp, so I like to ink it upside down. And then we're just going to put this down here along the bottom here. Okay. And then we need to take our sentiment, which is also from Loveliest Tree. And it says celebrating, oh no, it's not from Loveliest Tree, sorry, it's from Beside Me. And it says celebrating you today. So we're going to put that over here. All right. And then we're going to set this aside so it can dry so I can color it. And then we're going to bring in this 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece, just making sure I got that. Okay, now we're going to stamp our large tree from the Loveliest tree. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this in the Early Espresso. Did I? No, I don't have Early Espresso. Maybe I did Pebble Path. Okay, let's do that. Let's do it. Okay, now I want to look at the bottom here, because I'm going to put this, is going to go down here, kind of like that. And then I want to put my tree up here, so that it looks like the tree is on the other side of the lake. Okay, we'll give that a good press. All right, we've got that. Now, we are, oh, you know what? I didn't do it that way, but this is the way we're going to do it. It's easier this way. So let's just do it, shall we? Okay. Originally, I used my Stampin' Up markers. Excuse me, I'm going to grab a drink. My Stampin' Up markers to ink the actual stamp. Maybe we should do that. Let's clean this off real quick, because I wanted to show you that technique. It's a technique that I've used before, but it often gets forgotten. So I'm going to take my sorry. I'm going to take the brush tip of my Early Espresso and I'm going to ink that up with my marker. Okay, and I'm going to bring this up so you can see and so I can see. Got a little bit of tree in here, a little bit of branch right here. Here. It doesn't have to be precise. And then I'm going to bring this down the trunk to the grass. Okay? Now, I'm going to take that. And then I also have Shaded Spruce, Garden Green, and Old Olive. So in this case, I'm going to start with my Garden Green. And I'm going to take the brush tip, and there's no science to this. And I'm just going to put in some color. Try to avoid the brown, the Early Espresso. My goal on this color is not necessarily to color the whole image, okay? And then I'm going to go back with my Old Olive. And I missed a spot of brown here. Let me get my tree trunk right there. And then I'm going to take my Old Olive and I'm going to fill in some of those spots I didn't fill in before. And the reason that I'm doing this is because this will give me some variation in color. And this is the easiest way to get that variation in color. Okay, then I'm just going to tap this down here in my grass. And then I'm going to finish this off with what we call the thumping technique. And I'm just going to take and go in here and thump that down. And I'm just holding it with the end of my marker. Okay, and I've got a spot here or there that I don't see that I don't have any color on. So I'm just going to put that on. Oh, I missed a little bit right there. Okay, good. And then we're going to take and huff on this. And again, I'm going to bring this down so that I know where I need to stamp. Okay. And I'm going to give that a good press. And I'm going to let that sit on my paper for a minute or two to really let that ink sink in. Okay? And then there is my image. All right. So we've got that technique. Now, I wasn't too fond of the white in my tree, so I went back with my crumb cake marker, my Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going to kind of fill that in a little bit with my Stampin' Right. And the Stampin' Right, or with the Stampin' Blend, the Stampin' Blend ink will not react because this is a water-based. The Stampin' Right markers are water-based and this is alcohol-based, so they work well together. Okay, so now here is my image, beautifully colored with a lot of depth and variation. Yes, Tracy, we did learn this at a scrapbook convention way back in the day. Okay, so there's our tree. And that's a very good way to use your Stampin' Right markers and to get good color variation within your stamps. It actually works best on the rubber stamps. It will work on your photopolymer, but you're going to get a better, crisper image with the rubber. Okay, so then ahead of time, I took and stamped and cut out a mask with the masking paper. And yes, you guys, I took the time with our super snips. I love these paper snips. They have a very fine pointy tip. They're the best, I think, on the market. And I cut out all of those. Now, do you have to cut all that out? No. And I'm going to show you that on my first card, I didn't do that. So I'm going to show you how that looks. But I didn't like the white, so I went back in on this card and I added in some Stampin' Blend marker. And I mean, it's okay, but it's not what I was looking for. Okay, so for this one, I took and cut the mask, and I went back and cut out those little sections so that I wouldn't have all of that space. And I'm just going to put my mask down. And then I'm going to bring in my Azure Afternoon ink. And I'm going to ink up my small blending brush. And I'm going to wipe off some of it on my glass mat. And then I'm going to start off of the paper because I just want a nice sky. Not too dark. I just didn't want it to be stark white. Okay? And then I'm going to go over those parts of the tree that I've cut out so you'll be able to see the skyline behind. Oops, be careful when you're doing that you don't lift up your mask. Okay. So then I'm going to go back in. Got that. And I'm going to go back in now with some garden green. And I'm going to do the same thing. Rub some of that off because I don't want a lot. And then I'm going to start off my paper and bring that in and meet that blue, the Azure Afternoon. And then I need to make sure that I come down far enough for my lake. I don't have to come all the way to the bottom. I just don't want any gaps between my lake and my grass. Okay. Then let's lift this up And I'm thinking I want a little bit more blue. That's not quite as blue in the sky as I would like. So let's go back in and add a touch more blue. There we go. Whoops. Make sure that sticks down there. Okay. And I'm going to go back in and do that right there in the holes. Okay. Now that should be good. And let's go ahead and lift up our mask and see what we have. All right, now we've got a really nice background. But there's a little bit too much white in those trees for my liking. So I'm going to go back in with my garden green blending brush. And I'm going to add a touch more here. Just to fill that in. And I don't want any harsh marks, so I'm really going to blend that out. Okay. And the reason that we're doing it this way is the nature of that stamp. It leaves white spaces. Okay, so there we are. Our background is what we want. So let's go ahead and clean this up so we don't end up with a bunch of ink where we don't want it. And what did I do with my dry wipe? I had it here. And now I don't know what I did with it. I grabbed it on purpose just before we started. Okay. Wow. That is the weirdest thing. Oh, no it isn't, because I set my stamp set on it. All right. So we've got that. Now we're ready to add our... Oh, no, we're not. We're going to take this and we're going to go in with some Pool Party ink because I wanted to add some depth to this as well. But this time I'm going to use a sponge dauber. So I'm going to pull out my Pool Party sponge dauber, which I just messed up my whole thing. Gosh darn it. I opened it upside down. That was not cool. Okay, let's see about where we're at. Pooh. I'll have to fix that later. Man, what a mess. Okay. You're not supposed to open that upside down. Okay, so I'm going to wipe that off. And then I'm very lightly going to go across the ripples. A little more darker than I wanted there. That will dry a little lighter. Okay, there we go. Now we've got depth and color in our lake, because as we all know, lakes are not all one color. Okay, there we are. Okay, I think we've got all the ink blending done that we need now on this particular card. And let's go in. I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green. Do I have the light? Nope. Okay. I forgot to go in. I need to use the brush tip here. I need to add in this. Okay. And then add in a little bit more there. I don't like how white that is down there. Okay, there we go. This is ready to go on, so we're going to go ahead and put this on. And I'm going to guess here about... Let's just put some liquid glue here and hope it ends up where we need it. And what did I do with my... Let's get our silicone mat so that if I get adhesive everywhere, it won't be on my work surface. Okay. So we've got that. And then we're going to, I wish I had colored that image ahead of time. This has taken a long time, you guys, I'm sorry. I should have pre-colored that. Okay, there we go. Got that. So this is our card so far. Good to go. All right, and the final part of this whole thing is to take our stamped images and color this. And I stamped our Celebrating You in the wrong color because I didn't like it in that color. Let me fix that real quick. We're going to use copper clay. That's the color that I want. No big deal though, we got it. Okay, so again, I'm going to take, and I'm going to hope that I've got enough green on here. And I do, I think. Okay, maybe a touch more. I don't want that to be super green, but I do need enough that, there we go, that's better. Okay, there we go. So that's done. Now let's go ahead and color our images. We're going to start with the dark and light gray granite for this shirt here. And I'm just going to, hang on, I'm going to flick in some color with my brush tip on the artist lines that say color me here, shade me here. Okay. And a little bit along the sleeve there where there would be a shadow. And then I'm going to go back with the light gray granite, and I'm just going to blend those together. And I'm just going to do a quick. Okay. A little bit more dark along this one right there. And then I'm actually going to go in with the bullet tip here. Okay. There we go. So Dad's shirt is all done. And then we're going to go for copper clay for the little guy's shirt. We're going to do the same thing. Put some dark lines on the color me here, and then along the sleeves here, and here, and pretty much along Dad's arm there because it's covering him. Excuse me. And then we're going to go back with the copper clay. Okay. And then we've got light pecan pie. No, I'm going to take the dark crumb cake. And I'm going to color the pants here. And I didn't do much shading on the pants. And then we've got, I don't have them here. Let's go with the Night of Navy Light. Let's see how that looks. for Dad's jeans here. Okay, so we've got that, and we're going to throw in just a little bit of dark on the Color Me lines here. Okay. Little girl here, she's using Summer Splash for her shirt. And again, we'll start with the dark. The Color Me lines here and along there. Okay. And then we'll finish that all up with the light Summer Splash. You can tell you do not have to spend a ton of time coloring, especially when you use the brush tip. If you're just a little bit careful, you'll have it made. Okay, so let's go in with some light crumb cake here. And I'm gonna make that her pants. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little bit on the hair in light crumb cake here. Start with the light crumb cake, then I'm going to move to the light pecan pie. Don't get stuck in that you can't add different colors. And then I'm going to fill that in with the light crumb cake. Okay, and for the little gal here, what did I do? I used a little bit of the light wild wheat with some light daffodil delight. Just gonna flick in some wild wheat here. And then I'm gonna fill that in. Actually, I'm going to use the dark daffodil delight. I think that'll be a little bit better. Yep. Okay. And then because my little girl isn't quite that blonde, I'm going to go back with some light crumb cake and tone that down. Okay. And Dad here, I'm going to start with some light pecan pie in his hair. And then I'm going to add some medium. This is one of the natural tones, the mediums, SU 600. I'm going to add some of that in. And then I'm going to go back with the light pecan pie. And there's Dad's hair. Okay, then for our skin tones, we're going to use, again, the natural tones in the light, SU 900. And I'm going to do all my skin the same. Fill that in. Fill that in, and his face right there. Okay, and finally, we're gonna finish up the dock with the light pecan pie, and my light pecan pie is not working very well on the brush tip, so we're just gonna go in here. And add that clear to the bottom. Okay. There we go. Now let's take the dark pecan pie, which hopefully I have out. Nope, I don't. I'm not sure where it's at because it's not in here. Okay, well, it's fine. We're just going to leave it. let's go, because we're running out of time here. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out because there's no dies. And you all know I like to do this because I don't like the... I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trace around with my pencil so I can hand cut my sentiment. And I'm not even going to finish it off because I'm just going to cut that flat at the bottom. So we're just going to cut that straight across. And then I'll follow my pencil line for the most part. Okay, there's our sentiment all cut. Now we're going to go back with the... I'm going to take my white eraser. You can get it at any office supply store or Walmart during school supply season. Okay, so here is our sentiment. And then we're going to quickly cut this out. So I'm going to rough cut it. Get rid of some of that excess paper that I don't need in my way. I'm going to leave a little bit of a white border. Oh, hang on. That's what I need my pool party marker for. Because I don't want that. I'm going to take my pool party marker. Because I want this to look like it's going to blend into the lake. So I'm going to take my light pool party Stampin' Blend. And I'm going to follow around where this would be the lake. So it looks like it fits right into our picture, like it was meant to be, one cohesive unit. Okay, and then we're gonna there and there. All right, and you'll see what a huge difference this makes when you go to cut that. And just make sure you don't go outside your pool party line with your scissors. Okay, and notice when I'm fussy cutting here, I'm turning my paper, not my scissors. That gives me a smoother edge. Cut off any excess so it's not in your way, and you'll have a much more successful fussy cut. I used to hate fussy cutting. In fact, I used to ask my friend Missy to fussy cut all my stuff for me because she liked fussy cutting and I hated it. But over the years, with the tips that I've learned, I actually find it to be not too bad at all, and I don't mind it. Now, does that mean that I purposely look for stamp sets that don't have dies? Oh, no. No, no, no. But I don't shy away from them if they don't have dies. If I really like them, I just get them. And if you're going to give it to me for free, yeah, I'm going to take it. Of course, it's not free now, but it was for me back when in February. So now I'm going to put my yeah, I'm going to put my image here. I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals, and I'm down to the end of my thing here, so I'm just going to cut off some of these. Be sure not to throw these away because they are still perfectly good for you. And no point in wasting them. I think I should be pretty good. Let me put one more down here. All right there. And I think that should be pretty good. And we'll pop this up. Well, I might need one more on the little guy's head because I don't want it to flip-flap in the rain there. Okay, I think we're good now. It's probably overkill, but I'd rather have a non-saggy image. And I know you're thinking, Teresa, just go ahead and put one on Dad's head there. So, I will. Hey, Kara, hello. I used, believe it or not, this is an absorber. It's called the Absorber, A-B-S-O-R-B-E-R. I got it in a tube at Walmart. Comes in a great big thing, and I just cut mine down. I love this little chamois. Okay, so I've got that. Now let's go ahead and put this on our card base, which is a piece of copper clay. This is a standard A2 card size. 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it in the center at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to add this here with some Stampin' Seal. And let me get that going. Okay. And then we'll just add this right here. And then we need a couple of mini dimensionals. Here and here. And my little dimensional thing doesn't want to go away. So let's get rid of that. And then we're going to add this right up here by the tree. And there is the finished card front. Now, I didn't add any extra embellishments because I thought I had plenty going on there. So I left it as is. Now let's go ahead and do the inside. What did I do with my inside piece? Uh-oh. Oh man, I just lost a piece of my tree too. Oh, found it. Okay, well, let's grab another inside piece because I'm not sure what I did with that piece of white cardstock. Okay, there we go. Thanks, Jennifer. Laura. Okay, so for the inside of this card, I'm going to take the... Where's my Happy Father's Day? Well, I had a Happy Father's Day. What did I do with it? Hang on, let me see if I can put it back in here. No, it's got to be out on the block. Or, hang on, here it is, right here. Ha! It's in my mini Misty. All lined up, ready to go. Okay. Okay, there we go. So we're going to take some copper clay ink for this. Stamp in that Happy Father's Day. And I'm going to do that one more time. Just because I think it could be a little better. Make sure that's down in the corner. And there we are. Okay. I'll set that away. And then from the Loveliest Trees dies and the Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper, I cut these trees. I cut one tree tree trunk, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for. And I'm going to snip that off because I didn't want it to be that tall. And then I'm going to put down one of these. I cut two because I didn't like how much air there was. And it wasn't full enough for my liking. It might be full enough for yours and you might be okay with that. But I wasn't. So I'm going to put this down here. Like so. And it's okay. Some of my pieces didn't pop out. And that's okay. I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. This is Tombow multi-purpose liquid adhesive in my fine tip bottle. Make life easier on myself. And then I'm going to move this up just a touch and over so that it fills in a little bit. Well, it would be nice if it would stick. Of that tree. And there is the inside of our card. Okay. So we'll just add that. And put it right there. And oh my gosh, the first card is finished. Now, if you'll hang with me, I've got one more card. And this one shouldn't be as bad. Should be easier, I think. Quicker. So let's go ahead and get started on that. We're just going to jump right in. I've got a smoky slate card base. Standard A2, 5.5 by 8.5. Scored in the center at 4 1/4. And then I've got another piece of smoky slate. Let's go ahead and burnish this real quick on the score. I've got another piece of smoky slate that is 4 by, actually it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I ran this through the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. This is an online exclusive. So we're going to add this to the front of our card with some multi-purpose liquid glue, because I always do that with 3D embossing folders. I just find that the liquid glue sticks best. And I'm going to put this so that I have more leaves at the top than I do at the bottom. And then I'm just going to center that up as best I can. Has a very narrow border. And then from the Wildflower Designs dies, I have taken, this is what they look like, Wildflower Designs. I wanted to show you this. This particular die, this is the die that cuts this right here. And not only does it cut this inner piece, but it also cuts this outer label piece. So I kind of kept one in here so you could see. Okay, let me see if I can get it out. All right, let's go this way. This one isn't quite a full one because I didn't need a full one. So I thought I could just do it that way. But there's holes in the die here, so you can just pop that right out. Okay. And then you have an outside frame piece, like that blue piece. Okay? So, and the same thing with this one here. It cuts both the outer and the inner. and then this die just cuts this inner. Okay, so I wanted to show you how kind of cool those are. I've already pre-cut what I needed to save us some time. All right, and then, okay, so we've got this piece, and we've got a piece for our sentiment. I've already done the inside, and I used the same piece, that same large piece, for the inside that I'm using on the outside. So this is going to go on the inside of our card right there. And then an easy way for you to color the, instead of cutting 2 sets, if you don't want to cut 2 sets, I'm going to show you a trick. So I'm going to set aside this piece because I want it to stay white. And then I'm going to take my, that's why I couldn't find my dark pecan. Then I'm going to take my dark pecan pie Stampin' Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going to color this with my blend. So then I'll have a pecan pie border. Without cutting 2 pieces. And because these are blends, they're just going to blend right in. And you're not going to see a bunch of lines. Okay? And you can go as light or as dark as you like. Okay? Easy way to color so you don't have to cut 2. Okay? So there we go. Our piece is colored. Now we've got pecan pie for the outer. Let's go ahead and stamp our tree here. We need to clean this real fast because we colored it before, and we're not doing that this time. This time we're going to color with our sponge dauber. Okay, so we're going to take basic gray for this one. I'm just going to ink that up. And then we're going to stamp this down. Okay. Just like so. And then I'm going to grab that white pecan pie again. And I'm going to go in and just color my tree trunks, or my tree branches, I guess. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Then I'm going to have to find my, oh, let's see. We need the garden green. Dauber, which of course you know I dropped that, so that's kind of a problem. We're going to take some garden green ink. And I'm going to wipe that on my glass mat, and then I'm going to very lightly take my sponge dauber over those tree leaves, or yeah. Okay. Very quick coloring. Okay, then to get the grass, I'm just going to use the side of my sponge dauber, and then take that and I'm going to go back with some mossy meadow, and I'm going to try and find that sponge dauber real quick. That's my side. Should be about right here. Nope, that's Bumblebee Blue. Mossy meadow, there we are. Rosie Meadow. Sorry, guys. And again, I'm going to do that. And then I'm just going to go in a couple of spots and just darken those up, just to give it a little depth. Coloring is done on our tree. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment, and we're going to do that in the basic gray. And we're going to say sending heartfelt sympathy, and this is from the Loveliest trees. And I'm going to stamp that down. And then we're going to pull out our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Remember, these are going to be on sale for 10% off starting June 5th. And I'm going to take the new Unbounded Love dies, and I'm using this one right here. Okay. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to put that down, and I'm going to put this all the way. This die is actually too big for what I want, so I'm going to alter the die like I do. And I'm going to put that down and take a piece of washi tape. Or Post-it note tape. I don't know where the washi tape thing came from. Okay. Now I'm going to move this out of the way for just a minute so I have plenty of room to work. And then I'm going to take this. I don't need that piece. And I'm going to put this right back in here. And I'm going to slide it into place in those little nooks, in the little embossed spots here. And I'm just going to slide that down and lock it in. Does not cooperate. There we go. We're locked in. Slide it down to where I want it. About right there. Make sure that's good and locked in place. Okay, and I'm going to turn this around this direction where I want it to cut, because I don't need it to cut the whole thing. And I'm just going to place my cutting plate here just past where I want it to cut. Okay, and then when I pull it off, it cut off that piece. And my sentiment is the size that I want. Easy peasy. Okay, now I wanted this to pop out a bit. So I'm going to find my pecan pie. And to get my pecan pie ink here. That's not pecan pie. It looks a little like pecan pie, but it's not. Okay, that was copper clay. I'm going to wipe that off. And then I'm going to take my sponge dauber, and I'm just going to go around the outside edge just to make that look like I put a piece of cardstock behind there when I really didn't. Okay, and the secret to this is to keep this straight up and down. Okay, there we go. So now that is ready for our card. Oh, and I forgot to cut. I was supposed to cut while I was doing that, you guys. Okay, give me some more scrap here. We need a couple of, we're just going to take some scrap, and I mean scrap. I'm going to bring in that mini one more time. So sorry about that. I should have remembered I was going to do this all at once. Okay, where'd my top plate go? From the Loveliest tree dies, we're going to take, you've got 3 of these bonus dies that are just leaves. So we're going to take and cut these on the basic weight. Okay, I'm going to put our plate on here, roll that through. And take those off. Move these out of the way. And let's go ahead and poke these out. See if they're not going to just drop out. And I didn't bring the die brush over. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to throw those up there so I don't lose them. I've got a magnetic bowl up there. Don't think I'm just throwing them on my desk. That would be a disaster. I'll just put it into my little magnetic tray so they aren't going anywhere. Okay, got that. All right, so let's get all these little pieces out of the way. And now we need, what did I do with that garden green? I'm gonna hope I got enough. I'm just gonna tap this with my sponge dauber. Gonna have to get a little more garden green. I'm gonna tap that on my mat here because I don't want too much. Whoops, backside. Flip it over. I'll pick up some of that green. And by daubing this the way I am, I get different amounts of saturation for my leaves. Okay, so that's that. Wipe that off again. Okay. And now we can add everything to our card because our card is ready. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to wipe this dry real fast. We're going to add this piece to our card front first with a little liquid glue. Ah, thanks, Tracy. I'm so glad you like that card. Okay, so I think we're good here. Let's go ahead and my tweezers, because you guys know I can't work without my tweezers here. And I'm just going to set this down and try to center it up. Okay, then I'm going to take my large block and press that down. Okay. And then we're going to take our tree image here. And because it's 3D, and I normally would use liquid glue, but I don't really like liquid glue on the white, I'm going to just set that in there like that. And then we're going to take our Sending Heartfelt Sympathy. And, you know, I did not pop this up. So I'm just going to take and put a little bit of seal in the middle. And I'm doing that because I want to tuck my greenery behind my sentiment. Okay, so I'm going to take and put 2 leaves down below in the right hand corner. I'll slide it underneath that sentiment. Okay, grab one more. Slide that in there and pop those little pieces out. Okay. And then we're going to slip this in here. I needed to get that there. Okay. Okay, let's... Are you not going to slide for me? No, you are not stuck here. Okay, so there we go. And finally, for this card, we're going to finish off the front with some 2023 to 25 in color opaque sparkle dots. These are very thin. And let's get our take your pick tool. I'm going to use the pebbled path. And I'll put this one right there. Okay. So we've got that. Let's add our inside piece, which I took the wishing you comfort, thinking of you, praying for you. Now this thinking of you, praying for you, these sentiments here come from Comforting Thoughts. This is an online exclusive. And I didn't want the hoping with you, so I just took a piece of Post-it note tape and put it on there, inked it up, pulled that off, and then stamped it down. And then I added the leaf image, which I stamped in garden green, around it. And we are just going to put this right in here. And then our card is finished. Okay? So there you have it. There's card number 2. And let's bring back in card number 1. And I don't know if I made an envelope for card number 1, but I've got an envelope for card number 2. And I just used those same leaf image, the same leaf image, and then I put one on the flap. So we've got that. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining me, and thank you for participating. All the lovely comments. I'm so glad that you like what I've shown tonight. And I will see you Thursday night over on YouTube at 7 p.m. where I have another card with the loveliest tree. So feel free to join me over there. And I will see you next Tuesday here on Facebook at 7 p.m. Thanks, everybody. Good night.